Number 3, same thing that we've been doing before, except now we want to find x is x squared minus x minus 12 has to be greater than or equal to 0. And so to solve this algebraically, we would factor this. One way that you could guess on the factoring of this, you're going to take the first and the last term and then you could do like a guess and check. So if I say x squared and then minus 12, this is x times x, and then I need to think of two numbers that when I multiply them I get 12, but when I add them up I'm going to get negative 1, right? And so if I put negative 4 here and a positive 3 here, that'll give me 3x minus 4x, and that would be negative 1. Does that make sense? So what I'm really saying is that x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. And then you can take those two inequalities and then you have to determine what that means graphically. So what this means, really, truthfully, honestly, is that I'm going to have a quadratic equation. I guess if I were to solve this, what I would end up with is x equals negative 3 and x equals positive 4, right? If we were to solve that like it was an equation. So that means that my quadratic equation is going to have an x-intercept of 3 and an x-intercept of 4. So my quadratic equation is going to come down around through here like that, right? And so if that's the case, we want the values greater than that. So how would I graph that value greater than 0? Right? So we're looking at this point here, right, which is negative 3 comma 0, and we're looking at this point here which is 4 comma 0, right? What values, where do I shade? Do I shade above the dots or below the dots? Okay. So now if I shade above the dots, think of the x-axis as kind of our number line, right? This is our x-axis. So what x values am I looking at? I'm looking at these x values and these x values. So if I were to pull just the x-axis out, it would look like this: negative 3 and 4. And I'm going to concern myself with this and this. Are we including 3 and 4? Yes. So to graph it, I would do it like this and like this. And so that would give me negative infinity, comma, negative 3, union 4 to positive infinity. And that's pretty much it. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions?